Today I'd like to talk about the Oilers' new general manager and president of hockey operations, Peter Chiarelli. Now, my dad is a longtime Bruins fan, so I pull for them every year in the playoffs.
That's because the Oilers are always out.
Yes, I know that. Just operate the camera. Thanks. Like I said, since my dad's a Boston fan, I've followed the Bruins pretty closely over the last decade. I think the Bruins made a mistake in firing Chiarelli. Around the middle of the season, the CEO of the team said that missing the playoffs would be unacceptable. So when the Bruins did miss, someone had to pay the price. But I think Boston missing the playoffs had more to do with Ottawa's incredible late season run than the Bruins having a really bad year. LA also missed the playoffs, but I think they made a wise choice by doing nothing. There's so much parity in the league now that I think that teams are better off to just ride out a tough year instead of having a knee-jerk reaction. The reality is that 3 or 4 good teams are going to miss the playoffs every year. Other than deciding to sport a full-on cul-de-sac instead of shaving his entire head, trading Tyler Seguin is Chiarelli's biggest mistake. If he was forced to move him by people higher up in the Bruins organization, then his mistake was not getting a better return for him. However, the Seguin deal wasn't a hockey trade. It had to do with Seguin's off-ice behavior, not his ability to play the game. Secondly, after trading Seguin, the Bruins finished first overall in the entire league the following season. To make a trade like that and still remain very competitive indicates that Chiarelli was making a lot more good moves than bad ones. And finally, the only reason he had Seguin to begin with was because he dealt another young star to the Leafs for the picks that would become Seguin, Dougie Hamilton, and Jared Knight. I'm not trying to excuse the trade. It was bad. But Chiarelli has publicly admitted that he made an error, so don't expect him to go trading Connor McDavid or Taylor Hall for a bag of magic beans. When it comes to the Bruins' salary cap situation, I don't think he should be criticized too harshly for that either. If you look at the Stanley Cup finalists from the last 3 years, they're all in cap trouble going into this offseason. Winning comes at a cost now. There's no way around it. Look at the Blackhawks. They just won their 3rd cup in 6 years, and Stan Bowman almost certainly won't be able to re-sign Johnny Oduya, and he'll be forced to trade 2 of Bickell, Sharp, Seabrook, or Crawford in order to get under the cap and ice a full roster. Boston's cap issues, just like Chicago, are more a result of long-term success, not poor management. Here's what I think is the most important thing to remember about the Bruins teams that Chiarelli put together. They played 9 7-game series during his tenure. That's tied with the Washington Capitals for the most in that span. This illustrates that his teams were extremely competitive. Every year, they were a bounce away from winning a series and moving on. Of course, they were also that close to being eliminated every year, but the point is that they were always in a position to be successful. For a team that's been out of the playoff race by December 1st every year, that's a breath of fresh air for the Oilers. Remember 2 years ago when Dallas Eakins claimed the Oilers would compete? Well, Peter Chiarelli doesn't need to come out and say that because his resume proves that they will compete under his watch. Unlike the previous management, I trust this guy to make smart hockey moves. I've already seen him execute due diligence with the messy Todd Nelson situation, and I think that foreshadows things to come. Starting in October, I'll be putting together a weekly Oilers video blog, so please subscribe, like, or leave comments below. Thanks for watching.